Hi, my name is Olena Murthy, and I'm very honored to speak at this meeting organized by Doctors Against Genocide. I welcome you all here. Thank you for spending your Sunday with us. And my heart goes to Dr. Mustafia's family and the family of all healthcare workers and doctors who have been abducted. I wish I can do anything to help, and I think we'll continue to fight with them, and we are crying with them, and we are.
Olena, Olena,
Yes,
sorry for the interruption. Can you try without the headphones might be
the
more
headphones.
clear?
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Yes,
Yes. Okay, let me just turn up the video. Um, 1 minute. So, can you hear me well?
it's perfect now. Yes, thank you. And Olena,
Okay.
you are
So
Ukrainian,
again,
you are
I'm a US
Ukrainian
citizen.
American.
I'm born in Ukraine, and I'm also a nurse practitioner at Mass General Hospital in Boston. Before starting my career in healthcare, I had my master's degree from a history university in Ukraine. And throughout all these years, my passion for the history has always remained. When the mass-scale genocide began, I took time to study Palestinian history and Israeli establishment as an apartheid state. I listened to interviews of very prominent historians, writers, activists who wrote about Gaza. After collective punishment of Palestinian people unfolded last year with daily catastrophic civilian casualties, I knew from the prehistory and from the genocidal intentions of Israeli government officials that this would be the worst humanitarian disaster of the Palestinian people in their history. I've lived through the horrors of war in Ukraine, through experiences of my family and friends, and I feel like with all my heart that the cause of Palestinian liberation from an apartheid regime is inseparable for me from the cause of liberation of Ukrainian civilians from the oppressive regime and all minorities from oppressive regimes. Last year, I aimed to create a petition at Mass General Hospital leadership to release a statement on our healthcare, about the healthcare and humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Also, I was informed that creating a petition among my colleagues is not possible on hospital grounds and with our work emails. I was referred to our hospital leadership team. I asked them to release a statement last year raising an awareness of healthcare and humanitarian crisis in Gaza and West Bank, and I requested that they let me share resources to support healthcare workers and civilians in Gaza, as they did let me share the resources for Ukrainian citizens when the war in Ukraine started. While initially eager to speak to me, they completely ignored my email request. I was shocked by the silence of the hospital leadership during this unprecedented violence. Every day hearing news reports on hospitals being bombed, supplies limited, and stories such as patients undergoing surgical procedures without anesthesia. The biggest irony that during the invasion of Ukraine many years ago, the MGH leadership released many emails to support Ukrainian people and healthcare workers. This is reflective of an attitude that many institutions and corporations in America have. To me, this reflects this country's greed that our institutions and government would rather support the rich war industry than prioritize civilian lives. As we all are, I'm very sick of silence of the hospital leadership during this unprecedented violence. I'm sick of genocide of Palestinian people, funded by our tax dollars and supported by propaganda in the US media. I live every day, like we all, with images of children and families getting killed and wounded, dying from hunger, cold, and lack of humanitarian aid in Gaza. As many of us have done, I've donated to many nonprofit organizations that help civilians in Gaza. I called multiple times to my Congresswoman, Catherine Clark, and my Massachusetts senators asking to stop genocide. But unfortunately, the government has failed to stop unconditional weapons transfer to Israel and failed to allow humanitarian aid of people of Gaza, and it failed us as the civilians of the United States and citizens of the United States. This is why I joined the global coalition of Doctors Against Genocide. On January 8th, I came with the coalition to the Capitol Hill to demand from our government officials to stop genocide of Palestinians release Dr. Abu Safia and other over 450 Palestinian healthcare workers. We met at the Senator's Heart Building lobby. We were faced with the police harassment to arrest us for, just like taking a group photo. Despite the police hostility, we were able to visit many senators and congressmen and deliver our message. I visited a staffer at our office of my Congresswoman, Catherine Clark, who sounded supportive of the Palestinian cause. As a Ukrainian American, I stand in solidarity with people of Palestine. I believe that American people, the liberation of Palestinians should be looked through the same lens as the civil rights movement. I urge all civil rights advocates and groups, medical organizations, and people who uphold the values of humanity over corporate greed to join our movement of Doctors Against Genocide, supported by human rights organizations. We need to demand our lawmakers to do everything possible to stop genocide of Palestinian people, release Palestinian healthcare workers and doctors who sound illegally detained in Israeli prison. And we also demand the restoration of healthcare system in Gaza. We are asking all members of the Organization of Doctors Against Genocide and all other human rights organizations, please join us at our next Capitol Hill event on February 19, Wednesday. We need hundreds at the Hill. Thank you for this privilege and honor to speak at this event.
Thank you, Olena. Thank you for your great voice, for your brave voice, for your advocacy. We really appreciate you, and we agree with you that all civilians need to be protected the same, whether they are here or in Ukraine or in Gaza